Chosen one, listen carefully, this message you about to hear. The secret that skipped a generation. You have always felt it, even before you had words for it. A quiet pull in your chest, a feeling that your life did not begin with you. There was a man before you, whose silence spoke louder than most people's voices. That man was your grandfather. He carried something heavy, something unseen, and he protected it by never numbing it. Tonight, you are not watching this by accident. You are here because what he hid is waking up inside you. Why his life never made sense to others. People called him ordinary, but you noticed the depth in his eyes. He listened more than he spoke. He walked through life like someone who knew a truth he could not explain. Others misunderstood him, sometimes feared him, sometimes dismissed him. But chosen ones are rarely recognized in their own time. The unfinished story he left behind. Your grandfather's journey was interrupted, not completed. Responsibilities, survival, and silence shaped his path. He learned early that some truths are not safe to speak in a loud world. So he carried wisdom quietly, protecting his family by saying very little. What he could not finish, he passed forward through blood, not words. Why you feel different from the start. From a young age, you sensed you did not fully belong. You questioned things others accepted easily. You felt emotions deeply, and injustice bothered you more than it should have. This sensitivity was never weakness, it was inheritance. You are responding to something ancient that recognizes itself in you. The signs that you are the one who continues it. You experience moments of deep clarity followed by confusion. That is awakening. You feel called to meaning, not noise, to truth, not trends. You often stand alone, even when surrounded by people. Chosen ones are separated early so they can see clearly later. Why the world tries to quiet people like you. A society built on distraction does not reward awareness. Those who think deeply are labeled strange, emotional, or unrealistic. Your grandfather learned this lesson and chose silence to protect his family. You are learning it now, but your time requires courage, not hiding. The spiritual weight you carry. This is not about ego or superiority. It is about responsibility. Being chosen means being tested first, misunderstood first, refined first. Your struggles were not punishment, they were preparation. You were shaped through pressure because fragile souls cannot carry truth. The moment you started waking up, something shifted when you least expected it. A loss, a realization, a quiet night alone. You began seeing patterns where others saw chaos. You questioned the meaning of success, time, and purpose. That was the moment the inheritance activated. What your grandfather could never tell you. He knew that truth changes people, and not everyone is ready. He understood that awakening too early can isolate a soul. So he lived modestly, faithfully, and quietly, trusting the right time would come. That time is now, and it chose you. Why you must not ignore this call. Ignoring it will not make it disappear. It will only grow heavier. You will feel restless, disconnected, and unfulfilled. Chosen ones suffer most when they pretend to be ordinary. Your peace begins the moment you accept who you are. This is not about fame or followers. True awakening is private before it is public. It begins with discipline, humility, and truthfulness. You are not here to impress the world, but to understand it. And understanding always comes before influence. The challenges only you could handle. Look back at what you survived, the isolation, the doubt, the delay. Those experiences would have broken someone else. They strengthened you because your soul was built for depth. Nothing was random, even the pain. Why this message found you today. Out of millions of videos, you stopped here. Not because of curiosity, but recognition. Truth recognizes its carrier. And today, it called you by blood and spirit. the responsibility you now hold. You are not meant to repeat the silence. You are meant to live with awareness, integrity, and courage. Your life becomes the message your grandfather never spoke. Through you, the story continues with wisdom, not fear. The final awakening. You are not broken, you are remembering. You are not late, you are right on time. What was hidden in him is alive in you. And this awakening will change everything if you let it. If this message spoke to you, honor it. Like this video, so it reaches others who are waking up. Comment below if you felt this in your soul, not just your mind. Subscribe to Return to Awakening, because this journey is just beginning, and you are not meant to walk it alone. The burden of knowing too much too soon. Awakening does not arrive gently for chosen ones. It comes with questions that keep you awake at night. You start seeing through masks, systems, and empty promises. This awareness can feel lonely before it feels powerful. Why your soul rejects average dreams. You were never satisfied with surface-level goals. Money without meaning leaves you empty. Noise without truth exhausts you. Your grandfather felt this too, even if he never said it out loud. The silence that ran in your bloodline. There were conversations he avoided and stories he never finished. Not because he did not care, but because he cared too much. He knew the cost of speaking truth in the wrong season. That silence was protection, not weakness. How pain became your teacher. You learned early that comfort does not create wisdom. Every disappointment sharpened your perception. Every betrayal trained your discernment. This was the training ground for your calling. Why you were pushed to the edges. Chosen ones are rarely placed at the center at first. You observe from the outside to understand the whole picture. Isolation teaches clarity that crowds cannot. Your distance was deliberate. The strange calm you feel in chaos. When others panic, you think. When others run, you reflect. This is not emotional numbness. It is inner stability being formed. What makes you a continuation, not a copy. You are not meant to live his life again. You are meant to refine it. Where he stayed silent, you gain wisdom. Where he endured, you transform. The inner conflict you cannot explain. Part of you wants to live quietly. Another part knows you were not made to disappear. This tension is not confusion. It is purpose stretching you wider. Why false paths never satisfied you. You tried fitting in, and it drained you. You tried ignoring the call, and it haunted you. Temporary distractions never brought peace. Because truth cannot be replaced. The moment you stopped fearing being different. One day, judgment lost its power over you. You realized approval was never the goal. Alignment was. That realization marked a turning point. The strength you hid even from yourself. You underestimated your resilience for a long time. You survived storms you never talk about. Quiet strength runs deep in your bloodline. Now it is rising to the surface. Why your journey feels slow but certain. Chosen paths are not rushed. Every step is intentional. Delays protect you from arriving unprepared. Timing is part of the wisdom. The difference between knowledge and truth. You are not collecting information. You are embodying understanding. Truth changes how you live, not just how you think. This is the level your grandfather reached silently. The awakening that cannot be reversed. Once you see clearly, you cannot unsee. Once you feel the call, you cannot silence it. This is not a phase. It is remembrance returning. What comes next is not comfortable. Growth will demand honesty. Purpose will require discipline. Awakening will test your consistency. But it will reward your soul. The weight of responsibility becomes clearer. As awareness deepens, excuses begin to fall away. You realize your choices echo further than you imagined. This is not pressure meant to crush you. It is clarity meant to guide you. Why your heart seeks justice and truth. You are disturbed by lies even when they benefit you. You feel uneasy when success lacks integrity. This is not stubbornness. It is a conscience sharpened by purpose. The dreams and thoughts that feel too real. Sometimes insight comes when the world is quiet. Ideas arrive complete, not forced. Reflection becomes revelation. This is how wisdom speaks when the heart is ready. The test of humility before authority. Chosen ones are tested with humility before they are trusted with influence. You are learning to listen more than you speak, to act with restraint rather than reaction. This discipline protects the truth within you. Why not everyone can walk with you? Some connections fade as you grow. Not because you are better, but because you are different. Alignment matters more than history. This separation makes room for purpose. The inner voice that will not let you settle. Even in calm moments, something urges you forward. Comfort feels temporary. Growth feels necessary. That voice is not restlessness, it is direction. What your struggles taught you about people. You learned who listens and who only hears, who supports quietly and who disappears loudly. Discernment became your shield. This wisdom was earned, not given. The strength of patience you did not know you had. You waited without understanding why. You endured without recognition. This patience refined your character. Now it steadies your steps. Why your faith in purpose never left you. Even when confused, you never fully gave up. Something deeper held you steady. Hope returned again and again. This endurance is part of your calling. The difference between belonging and alignment. Belonging seeks acceptance. Alignment seeks truth. You chose the harder path without realizing it. That choice shaped your awakening. The quiet confidence beginning to form. You no longer need to announce who you are becoming. Your actions speak before your words. Consistency builds trust within yourself. This is inner authority taking root. Why your story will help others one day. Not through preaching, but through example. Your journey carries lessons without noise. Those meant to see will recognize it. Just as you recognize this message. The preparation happening behind the scenes. What feels like waiting is actually training. Clarity is forming piece by piece. Nothing is wasted. Everything is aligning. The moment you realize you are ready. Readiness does not arrive with perfection. It arrives with sincerity, with courage to act despite fear. That moment is approaching, the lineage of quiet strength you come from. Your bloodline was never loud, but it was resilient. Strength was shown through endurance, not dominance. Your grandfather carried storms without applause. That same steadiness lives inside you now. Why you notice what others miss. Small details speak loudly to you. Tone, intention, silence, and energy do not escape your awareness. This perception was sharpened through experience. Chosen ones read between the lines of life. The fear that tried to delay you. Fear did not come to destroy you. It came to test your commitment to truth. Each time you moved forward despite it, you grew stronger. Courage was built, not gifted. The moments you felt called back. No matter how far you drifted, something pulled you inward again. Distractions never held you for long. Purpose kept tapping on your conscience. This recall is a sign of alignment. Why your path never followed a straight line. Your journey curved, paused, and restarted many times. This was not confusion. It was refinement through experience. Depth requires exploration. the sacrifices that shaped your character. You gave up comfort without fully realizing it. You chose integrity when shortcuts were available. These decisions shaped your inner foundation. Character always precedes calling. The difference between power and control. You learned that control weakens the soul. Power begins with self-mastery. Your grandfather understood this through restraint. You are learning it through awareness. Why you feel a duty you never agreed to. Responsibility found you without invitation. You feel accountable for more than yourself. This is not burden. It is guardianship of truth. The moment you stopped blaming your past, you no longer see hardship as theft. You see it as shaping. Pain became information, and information became wisdom. The awakening of inner discipline. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline remains. You are learning to move without applause. This separates purpose from impulse. Why your voice matters even in silence. Not every message is spoken. Presence itself can awaken others. Your energy carries intention. That influence is subtle but real. The balance between humility and certainty. You no longer shrink, but you do not boast. You stand firm without force. This balance is rare. It signals maturity of the soul. What it means to walk forward without validation. You stopped waiting for permission. External approval lost its power. Inner alignment became enough. This is freedom. The continuation is happening now. You are not preparing anymore. You are becoming. Every choice carries intention. The lineage is moving through you. The moment awareness became a way of life. Awakening stopped being an event and became a practice. You began to move with intention, not impulse. Even ordinary moments carried meaning. This is how purpose settles into daily life. Why you no longer fear being misunderstood. Misunderstanding once felt like rejection. Now it feels like confirmation. Not everyone is meant to understand your path. Clarity does not require consensus. The inner stillness you protected at all costs. You learned to guard your peace carefully. Noise drains what stillness builds. Solitude became sacred, not lonely. From silence, direction emerges. The test of consistency over excitement. Quick passion fades. Steady commitment remains. You are learning to show up even when it feels ordinary. This consistency anchors your awakening. Why your conscience grew sharper with time. What once felt acceptable now feels heavy. Your standards rose quietly. Integrity became non-negotiable. This refinement is irreversible. The lesson of letting people be who they are. You stop trying to save or convince. You learn that truth cannot be forced. Respect replaced resistance. Wisdom matured into patience. The difference between isolation and solitude. Isolation drains the soul. Solitude restores it. You learn to tell the difference. This discernment protects your energy. Why your journey will never be loud. Noise was never your language. Depth is. Your influence grows quietly but lastingly. This is how real change happens. The inner agreement you finally accepted. You stopped negotiating with your purpose. Excuses lost their power. Commitment became internal. This agreement changed everything. What it means to honor the lineage. Not by repeating history, but by living with awareness. By choosing courage where silence once stood. By embodying truth through action. The moment you realize you are not alone. Others like you exist. Scattered, quiet, aware. You recognize them by energy, not words. This recognition brings strength. Why the path ahead feels clearer. Clarity followed acceptance. Resistance faded. You stopped asking who you should be and started becoming who you are. The power of living unseen but awake. You no longer seek attention. You seek alignment. This quiet power sustains you, and it carries the lineage forward, the shift from seeking answers to living them. There was a time you searched endlessly. Now, understanding unfolds through experience. Life itself became the teacher. This is wisdom moving from mind to action. Why your intuition grew stronger than opinions. You stopped outsourcing truth. Inner guidance became louder than external noise. Not impulse, but discernment leads you now. This trust was earned through trial. The discipline of speaking only what matters. You learned that words carry weight. Silence became intentional, not fearful. When you speak, it lands with purpose. This restraint sharpens your influence. The way time feels different to you. You no longer rush the process. Patience expanded your vision. You think in seasons, not moments. This long view aligns with your calling. Why you walk away without explanation. You do not argue with closed hearts. You preserve energy for what grows. Peace became more valuable than proving a point. This choice protects your mission. The inner alignment that guides your decisiones. You measure choices by consequence, not convenience. Ease no longer equals right. Truth determines direction. This alignment steadies your steps. The quiet courage to stand alone. Standing alone stopped frightening you. Conviction replaced approval. You learned strength does not require witnesses. This courage is foundational. Why your presence feels grounded to others. People sense calm around you. Not because life is easy, but because you are centered. Your steadiness reassures without effort. This is inner order made visible. The difference between reaction and response. You pause where you once reacted. Reflection softened sharp edges. Responses became deliberate. This mastery changed outcomes. The way gratitude reaffirmed your past. You stopped resenting what shaped you. Lessons revealed their purpose. Thankfulness replaced bitterness. This reframing unlocked peace. Why you no longer seek validation from crowds. Crowds dilute clarity. You prefer depth over numbers. Meaning over noise. This preference preserves your integrity. The inner accountability you hold yourself to. You measure yourself honestly. Excuses no longer survive scrutiny. Growth became a personal responsibility. This accountability matures the soul. The path that continues to open quietly. Doors open without announcement. Opportunities align without force. You recognize timing without panic. This flow confirms alignment. The steady confidence that does not announce itself. You no longer need to declare becoming. Your consistency speaks. Your actions align with your values. This steadiness honors the lineage, the realization that purpose is lived, not proved. You stop trying to convince the world of who you are. Purpose does not demand validation. It reveals itself through how you live. This understanding brought quiet relief. Why your energy changed before your life did. Inner alignment always comes first. External change follows later. People sense something different before they could name it. Transformation begins invisibly. The discernment that protects your time. You became selective with where you invest attention. Not every invitation deserves access. Time became sacred. This protection preserves your focus. The way truth simplified your life. Complexity faded as clarity grew. You stopped carrying what was not yours. Honesty reduced inner conflict. Simplicity strengthened your resolve. Why you no longer explain yourself to everyone. Explanations are wasted on closed minds. You learn to speak where there is readiness. Silence became strategic. This restraint keeps your path clear. The inner order that replaced chaos. Confusion once ruled your thoughts. Now structure guides your days. Priorities align naturally. Order reflects inner harmony. The courage to disappoint others to remain true. You chose integrity over approval. Disappointment no longer felt like failure. Self-betrayal became unacceptable. This choice solidified your direction. Why your heart no longer chases every opportunity. You learned that not every open door is yours. Discernment replaced urgency. You wait for alignment, not excitement. This patience prevents regret. The difference between knowing your path and trusting it. Knowing brings awareness. Trust brings peace. You moved from questioning to commitment. This shift stabilized your journey. The quiet respect you earn without asking. People feel your consistency. You do not demand authority. It emerges naturally. This respect is built over time. Why you no longer fear losing people. You understood that alignment attracts what remains. Loss became refinement. Release created space. This acceptance strengthened you. The inner witness that guides you forward. You became accountable to your own conscience. External rules mattered less than inner truth. This witness keeps you steady. It rarely shouts, but it never lies. The sense that something greater is unfolding. You cannot fully name it yet, but you feel its direction. Momentum is building quietly. The path continues to reveal itself, the acceptance that you cannot go back. Once awareness settles in, retreat is no longer possible. You may pause, but you cannot unsee truth. The old version of you has completed its role. This acceptance brings both loss and freedom. Why your inner world became more important than appearances. You stopped performing for perception. Authenticity replaced image. What feels right outweighs what looks right. This shift grounded your identity. The refinement that happened through stillness. Growth no longer required constant motion. Stillness revealed what effort could not. Listening became more powerful than doing. This refinement deepened your clarity. The way you learned to wait without anxiety. Waiting once felt like stagnation. Now it feels like trust. You recognize preparation in silence. Patience matured into confidence. Why you feel protective of your purpose. Not everything deserves exposure. You learn that sacred things require care. Discernment guards what matters. This protection ensures longevity. The shift from self-doubt to self-honesty. Doubt questioned your worth. Honesty clarified your responsibility. You stopped asking if you are enough. You started asking if you are aligned. The difference between being ready and being willing. Readiness is shaped over time. Willingness is a decision. You chose willingness even before certainty. This choice moved you forward. The way your presence affects spaces. Rooms feel calmer when you enter. Not because you demand attention, but because you bring order within you. This influence is quiet but real. Why your journey feels ancestral. Some lessons feel older than your lifetime. Memories without images surface as intuition. You are finishing what began before you. This continuation gives meaning to your steps. The inner agreement to walk with courage. Fear no longer decides direction. Caution remains, but paralysis fades. You act with awareness, not impulse. This courage stabilizes your path. The peace that came from stopping comparison. Comparison once blurred your vision. Now it feels irrelevant. Your path has its own rhythm. This acceptance restored peace. Why you no longer need to rush destiny. What is meant for you is patient. Force creates distortion. Trust allows alignment. You learn to move with time, not against it. The sense of approaching transition. Something is nearing completion. You feel it in subtle shifts. Old patterns dissolve quietly. A new chapter is forming. The moment you realize silence can be power. Silence is no longer avoidance. It is intention. You choose when to speak and when to observe. This control preserves your strength. Why your mind seeks meaning over escape. Distraction lost its appeal. You no longer numb yourself from reality. Understanding became more satisfying than entertainment. This shift sharpened your awareness. The inner fire that burns without noise. Your drive is steady, not frantic. You move without needing recognition. Purpose fuels you quietly. This fire does not flicker. The discipline of staying true in small moments. Integrity is tested daily, not dramatically. Small choices shape large outcomes. You honor truth even when unnoticed. This consistency defines character. Why your heart feels heavier but clearer. Awareness adds weight. Ignorance once felt lighter. But clarity brings direction. You carry responsibility with understanding. The way you learn to let go without resentment. Release no longer feels like loss. It feels like alignment. You bless what leaves. This grace protects your peace. The shift from wanting answers to trusting process. You no longer demand immediate clarity. You allow understanding to unfold. Process became sacred. Trust replaced urgency. Why your journey cannot be explained easily. Language falls short. Experience speaks louder. Those meant to understand will feel it. This truth freed you from over-explaining. The strength of standing in uncertainty. You learned to remain steady without guarantees. Faith matured beyond outcomes. Commitment replaced comfort. This strength carries you forward. The way you honor your grandfather without words. You live what he protected. You embody what he preserved in silence. Your choices speak for him. This is remembrance in action. Why you feel called to walk with integrity. Integrity feels non-negotiable now. Even when it costs you. Your soul demands alignment. This demand guides your steps. The inner balance between acceptance and action. You accept what cannot be forced. You act where responsibility calls. This balance prevents burnout. It sustains purpose. The feeling that your life is finally coherent. Pieces once scattered now align. Your past begins to make sense. Meaning connects experiences. This coherence strengthens resolve. The quiet building toward a defining moment. Momentum gathers subtly. Nothing feels rushed, yet nothing is stagnant. You sense a threshold ahead, the call that can no longer be ignored. This message is not random. It found you because you are ready to respond. Awakening is not passive. It demands a decision. Why LISTNING is no longer enough. Understanding without action becomes burden. Truth asks to be lived, not admired. You feel the urge to move for a reason. Stillness has done its work. The moment you choose alignment over comfort. Comfort keeps many asleep. Alignment wakes the chosen. One choice changes momentum. That choice is yours now. The power of standing up internally first. Before the world sees anything, you must. Self-honesty activates purpose. Commitment begins in silence. This is where real change starts. Why your response matters right now. Delay weakens clarity. Action strengthens conviction. What you do next anchors this awakening. Moments like this do not repeat often. The invitation to declare your readiness. Not to the world, but to yourself. Engagement is intention made visible. It signals seriousness. If this message reached you, respond to it. Like this video to affirm your awakening. Comment with one word that describes what you felt: recognition, clarity, truth. Subscribe to return to awakening and stand with others who are chosen, aware, and ready to walk forward consciously.